Heyo, and what is up, gang? Thank you for checking out Sledgehammer TV tonight. SmackDown Live has their eyes set on WrestleMania, but unlike Monday Night Raw, they have not forgotten about the pit stop in 2 weeks that is the Elimination Chamber, and they actually did a decent job getting me pretty hyped about the WWE Championship match, and we are going to talk about it right here and right now. My name is Nick Nightmare, and you are watching the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show's SmackDown Live Review. Let's do it.
Sledgehammer Wrestling Show.
Alright, wrestling fans, thank you so much for joining me. SmackDown Live continuing the tradition of giving us a better show than Monday Night Raw, but just being better than Monday Night Raw doesn't always cut the mustard, if you ask me. When you're just being better than a piece of garbage, then you're not that good at all, really, if you ask me. There's a lot of logic gaps in the whole entire show tonight, and we're going to touch upon a couple of those in just a second. But all in all, this was an acceptable episode of SmackDown Live. They are building towards the Elimination Chamber matchup, and they are doing it in a good fashion. Everybody involved in this match for the WWE Championship at the Elimination Chamber is being made to look fantastic. Everybody's having their moment to shine. They have all these little stories going on within all of the 6 competitors in this matchup individually, and it's not bad. It's not bad. My problem with it is I still would have much rather preferred if they used this Elimination Chamber to set up Daniel Bryan's next challenger at WrestleMania instead of having the champ go in there and defend it. But when you look at the people that fill out the field in this matchup, when you have the experience and the wrestling genius and acumen of guys like Randy Orton, Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, and Daniel Bryan, you are already in for something special. Then you add in a little bit of the sizzle and the steak from Jeff Hardy, bringing a little flash and a little pizzazz to the match. You never know what Jeff Hardy's going to do. And then you top it off with the cherry on top being the hot, young, up-and-comer Mustafa Ali, who's bringing a whole lot of sizzle and flash of his own to this matchup. It's a perfect recipe of talent to give us a great Elimination Chamber matchup, and I think it is going to exceed my expectations already. On the flip side, as far as the pay-per-view itself goes, do we know of anything else going on at the Elimination Chamber matches besides the 2 Elimination Chamber matches themselves? We're 2 weeks out from this thing. Do they have nothing else going on? Do they not have anything else planned that we should be aware of? Or are they just too worried about Ronda and Becky and WrestleMania and what's going on that road? We're just doing the Elimination Chamber. Yeah, we're going to do it. We got the 2 big matches planned. Other than that, we don't know what the fuck we're doing. That's the WWE's MO, and that's what I believe is really going on. At this hour, we should have at least half the card at least being advertised to us so that we know what to be expecting. Isn't it a co-branded pay-per-view? Like, nothing on Monday Night Raw, as far as I know, has been scheduled for the Elimination Chamber, or maybe I just fell asleep during that segment because Raw is just so terribly bad. They did not give you too much of a chance to fall asleep tonight on SmackDown Live, but one of the things I also want to nitpick about is the pairing of Naomi with Carmella. Now, initially, I'm not mad at it. Alright, I'm not really mad at it because you have to take a couple of things into consideration. You got to take into consideration first that there's nobody else. There is nobody else to put a team together with. If you want to go outside the main event picture, you got Asuka's the champion. She's not going to be involved in this thing. You got Charlotte Flair trying to weasel her way into the WrestleMania main event, so she's not going to be involved in the tag team division. She don't have a partner to play with anyway that makes any sense. And then you got Becky Lynch, who's also involved in the whole WrestleMania thing. So you take them all out of the equation. You got Lana, who's gone back to where she deserves to be and where she needs to be, which is next to Rusev as a manager, and that's it. Who else is there? Who else has left for the final 2 spots? The only 2 other girls that I'm aware of are Naomi and Carmella. Now, by default, this is what has to happen, and this is what happens when you don't plan for things, and you don't flesh out your rosters well enough and come up with ideas and stories and give us things that matter. You have to come up with something last minute, and oh shit, we got 2 names left, and well, coincidentally, we have 2 girls that aren't doing anything, so they'll just be a team. You pair Nikki Cross with Alicia Fox on Monday Night Raw, for the same exact fucking reason. There's just nobody else. Everybody else that matters is busy. Right now, this tournament with this team, or for this team, does anybody have hope that Carmella and Naomi are going to make it to the end of this Elimination Chamber matchup? No, nobody thinks that. They're going to be an easy out for the eventual winners, who are most likely going to be Sasha and Bayley, or the WWE Universe just might actually riot. But their pairing, when you look at them as individuals, kind of makes sense. They have very similar gimmicks. You got Naomi with the glow, and what's the glow all about? Being yourself, coming out, having a good time, dancing in the strobe lights and the black lights and all that shit. Glowing, showing your glow, getting your groove on. Naomi's always dancing, having a good time. And now Carmella, ever since she's turned back to the babyface side of things and has been teamed with R-Truth, is doing the same thing. She's all about the dance break, right? Having a good time. Being yourself, not giving a shit. So the pairing of them actually kind of makes sense. So you can't really be mad at it. What you gotta be mad at is you have to take into consideration how great this actually could have been if the WWE started putting this in everybody's minds a couple of fucking weeks ago, maybe even months ago. They had something here. They knew they were doing the women's tag team division, and instead they wanted to waste Naomi's time with Lana, because Lana's the dancing fun time girl. The Russian Brigitte Nielsen of pro wrestling. Rusev Crash. We want to see her dancing around and doing ballet like an idiot. No, that's not what we want. This teaming makes sense. Imagine how great it could have been if they actually cared about it. If they actually wrote it and portrayed it on television week after week, so that now that it's announced that they're going to be part of this thing, we would be like, well, yeah, shit, I want to see that. And if they are, in fact, the latest entry into this thing, which I don't understand that either, why SmackDown Live is just placing women in. I know they don't have the women to go against one another. You know, they don't have enough competition for the women to actually put together some sort of a miniature tournament for qualification, so they're just placing their women in there, which is something I would expect from Monday Night Raw. That's not what I expect from a SmackDown Live. SmackDown Live is the land of competition. Monday Night Raw is the land of laziness, so this is a move that I would expect from them, not from the guys on SmackDown. But when you take the roster into account, what choice do they really have? But don't you think they maybe should have won this match tonight? They're in a triple threat tag team matchup with the other 2 teams that are qualified or placed into the Elimination Chamber. And in order to make people feel like maybe this team could win, or maybe this team is good, maybe they have chemistry, maybe they've come together, and maybe there's something good here, give them a victory tonight to show that. To give people a reason to believe, to give people a reason to glow and be happy. But no, we have to sacrifice the women's tag team division and this makeshift tag team that might actually work, because we still need to push Mandy Rose and Naomi's singles gimmick. Their singles program, which should all be being thrown by the wayside. I can respect them ramping up the intensity when they're in the ring together. I can respect them playing on that angle during the wrestling match, but at the end of the day, especially in this particular matchup, which is pertaining to the women's tag team division being put on the map and making the championships feel like they have prestige, and meaning this was a chance for you to give us a new tag team that actually feels like it might go somewhere, like a new version of a Sasha and Bayley, and it might actually work. But then you have them go out there and do that. So you shot yourself in the foot. You actually give me a reason to praise you guys. Well, this kind of happened by accident, but it actually might be good. But then, oh no, wait. Pfft, let's shoot that shit before it even gains any momentum. Who cares about it now? Does it really matter? Is it going to continue after the champions are crowned at the Elimination Chamber? Are they going to continue to be a tag team? That is what I want to know at this point. Because if that's the case, then they should have been built up properly. They should have been built up properly either way. What am I saying? There are no parameters for building people up properly. Everybody should be built up properly. And everything should be done with time and care. But when you throw things together at the last minute, this is what you get, right? This is what we get. And like I said, I'm not mad at it. But I wish it was done a little bit better. What I can be mad at, again, is Gallows and Anderson's appearance on tonight's SmackDown Live. These guys wrestle maybe once every 6 months. So they were lucky to get a spot on the card tonight. But Gallows and Anderson, to me, have become the SmackDown Live equivalent to the Revival. They are the SmackDown Live Revival. These guys have a championship pedigree. World-class athletes. All over the world, respected. In some portions of the world, feared for their actions in the world of professional wrestling. A legitimate tag team who has been wasted and underutilized from the minute they came in here. They were given the tag team division comedy act, that necessary prerequisite by Vince McMahon that all tag teams have to be idiots and act like a joke. And ever since then, nobody's taken them seriously. They haven't given them a chance to shine. They haven't given them a decent tag team championship run. But here they are. The respected club. Loved worldwide. Being jobbed out on SmackDown Live. Just like the Revival on Monday Night Raw. To a makeshift tag team that is being comprised of two guys that are both in contention for the same singles championship. A tag team of two guys that do not get along. A tag team whose only accomplishment up until this point has been triggering my PTSD from the days when I had to watch the League of Nations on TV. Why are you making me relive that nightmare again? The League of Nations was horrible. And this is what we're getting. It's like a new version of the League of Nations. Rusev is from Bulgaria. Nakamura is from Japan. They're going to come together today and beat one of the best tag teams in the history of professional wrestling. And then what? What, they're going to celebrate together at the end of the match, holding hands with Lana? Look at us, we won, we're a new team. What is happening? How did we get from them both beating down R-Truth for him taking the United States Championship away from either one of their grasps to them now being a tag team in the tag team division? Where is this going? And why have we sacrificed Gallows and Anderson? If Rusev and Nakamura are actually going to be a tag team going forward, how could I possibly get behind a team like this when I got guys like Sanity sitting on the sidelines doing absolutely nothing? I don't understand it. I don't understand it. And I don't enjoy the tag team division at all. It's a mess no matter what main roster show you want to talk about, and they prove it more and more with each episode. As far as the women's division on SmackDown Live, I like the way they kicked off tonight's show. When Becky Lynch is on the screen right now, the crowd reaction is fantastic. Her segments are not boring. The words out of her mouth are great, and her actions have been speaking volumes over her words. And as much as like I said last night, she's not the new Stone Cold, so everybody has to calm down with all the comparisons. Anybody who works anywhere hates their boss, and it's not immediately just a parallel to Stone Cold versus Vince McMahon. That is a once-in-a-lifetime thing. That was wrestling magic. You couldn't recreate that no matter how hard you tried. You could take every cent in the WWE bank account and put it behind the recreation of that story with Becky Lynch and Stephanie, or Becky Lynch and Triple H, and it will never reach the heights. Never be what that feud was. So you're doing it a disservice, and you're actually disrespecting the performers involved in what was a great segment tonight, and also a good segment last night for Becky Lynch, by doing such a comparison in my eyes. So when you're watching this show, like I tell you all the time, I bring you guys the truth, and I don't agree with that. Nor do I want to agree with that. Because comparing her to Stone Cold is truly not a compliment. She doesn't want to be Stone Cold. She wants to be Becky Lynch. So let's celebrate her for who she is and not who she might be reminding you of. And how you can truly draw that comparison, I will never understand, because there is no comparing the tone in the room and the things that went on during Austin McMahon to what's happening right now. And it'll never be recreated. No matter what two superstars you want to use. They've been trying for years to reignite that flame. They had Seth Rollins versus Triple H. We've seen it a million times by now. The only one that maybe came close was Daniel Bryan, and that was because he was legitimately being held down, and he was what everybody wanted to see prior to WrestleMania 30. But we see where we've come to with that at this point. I did enjoy everything Becky Lynch did tonight once again. I don't enjoy the fact that she was suspended 24 hours ago on Monday Night Raw, and there was really no explanation as to what her suspension truly meant. Was she just suspended from Raw? Was she suspended from the company? We know she's not allowed to wrestle until she goes to see a doctor. Triple H had to hammer this point home tonight, getting in the face of Becky Lynch, confronting her, asking her just go to the doctor and everything will be fine. You had Charlotte Flair out there, and then you had Triple H pretty much bitch her out, which I thought was a little bit odd, but I kind of enjoyed it just a little bit on the inside when he told her, this has nothing to do with you. Get out of here. Go away. You're not needed. Charlotte Flair's out there pointing to the WrestleMania sign like she's going to do something. And then Triple H is just like, nope, see you later. I'll deal with you later. And what did he get for his troubles? He got the man doing what the man has been doing best, and that's just been leaving holes in people's souls with the words that she chooses. Triple H begged her, so to speak, to take this, clearance test by the WWE medical staff. And as he turned his back to her and walked away, she felt the need to dig the knife in his back and bring up everything she did to Stephanie McMahon last night. I thought this was fantastic. It really got under Triple H's skin, and I like what the game had to say in return. He is absolutely wrong. We all know this. Becky knows this, but the game is accusing Becky Lynch of being afraid of Ronda Rousey, and all of her actions and everything that she's done over the course of the last two nights is only to try to have this match be canceled, because she knows she can't hang with Ronda Rousey in the main event of WrestleMania. And that she's scared. I thought it was priceless, and I knew that the right hand was coming, but Becky Lynch would swing away. Swing away, Meryl! Becky Lynch swung away and blistered the cheek of the game, and I thought it was great. I thought the whole opening segment was great. And then once again, Becky Lynch goes away, and things start to get a little crazy. But I love that Becky Lynch is just doing her thing, man. The crowd was into it. They were chanting one more time, one more time. And I was sitting there at home too. I was hoping she was going to lay back and rear into Triple H just one more time. But that didn't happen here. And it'll be interesting to see where they go with it. She's not supposed to be there. They're going to continue to have her showing up at shows and continue to gain even more momentum, not that she really needs it at this point, and if this is the best thing that they can do, then let's just take it for what it is and hope that it continues to do different things, and we don't just keep seeing a repeat of the same segment, which is essentially what it was, but it had a little bit more firepower than it had last night when she slapped Stephanie in the face, because tonight she slapped Triple H, and that's just a whole next level crazy. So, you gotta give it up for the opening of tonight's SmackDown Live. Then we get Shinsuke Nakamura and Rusev defeating Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows. I just couldn't stand it. This match was very short. Tom Phillips wanted to remind everybody that R-Truth is home, recovering from that vicious attack last week by Rusev and Nakamura, which is one of the things that made me realize that these guys don't give a shit about the tag team division. This match is happening because Gallows and Anderson called them out for what they did to Truth, and it's just going to be over and done with, and Gallows and Anderson are just going to go back to catering and stuff their face, or go somewhere and buy some new turtle wax for their bald heads. I don't know what they're doing. I don't think they know what they're doing. Maybe they're among the legion of people that are being rumored to be counting the days till the contract is up so that they can go play in somebody else's sandbox. But that remains to be seen. This match was pretty much just your standard boring WWE tag team matchup. Nothing special at all. The finish would come when Rusev hits the Machka kick on Carl Anderson and gets the pin. Goodbye, club. We'll see you again maybe in a month or two. Maybe. Hopefully you get to do something at Mania, right? Maybe. I don't know. Who really cares? In the back, we get a cut scene and a promo by Mustafa Ali, which was really great. It was all dark and mysterious, and he had all his lights twinkling and whatever, and he was discussing his upcoming match tonight with Randy Orton. He talked about how he has chances, just a chance, to win the title at the Elimination Chamber, and he's going to start by beating Randy Orton tonight. I'm really high on Mustafa Ali right now. His in-ring ability is unbelievable. He's very special and very unique to watch, and he's got some momentum. He's getting some crowd support behind him, and I'm definitely into what they're doing with Mustafa Ali. We go then from that promo to a promo with the Usos, after we found out they are going to be guests on the McMiz TV episode that we are going to get next week on SmackDown Live. And shoot me already. I already know that I don't want to see it and that I don't care. I know the Usos are on fire on the mic, and they're probably going to lay waste to Shane McMahon and The Miz, which might be the best part of the whole thing. But McMiz TV? What are they, being sponsored by fucking McDonald's? They're going to have Ronald McDonald in the corner to moderate this thing? McMiz TV. Just because Shane's going to be there, it has to be different because they're the bestie, co-bestie, jerk-off tag team in the world. Stop it, McMiz TV. Sounds like a new fucking sandwich they're going to put on the menu at Ronald Donald's over there. Oh my God, who cares? The Usos just came out walking down a creepy hallway like the Usos do. What up, Us? We're going to beat your ass next week. That's essentially what they said. And we are going to move on. Randy Orton went one-on-one with Mustafa Ali. Randy Orton defeated Mustafa Ali, but this was a very good match for both of these guys. Randy Orton looked like a beast. Mustafa Ali looked like he was not going to quit. He took one hell of a shot to the face, ended up with a big old black eye for the rest of the evening, courtesy of the Viper in this matchup. And my favorite moment of this matchup was at one moment Mustafa Ali was on the top rope, and he was about to execute some sort of a flying maneuver, but he would stop short, and because he stopped short, he caught Randy Orton laying in wait to execute the RKO. Randy Orton went and did like a little juke, like he was ready to catch him and plant him face first into the mat, but Mustafa Ali, already seasoned enough to know, by facing Randy Orton already, what is in store for him, and was able to use that to his advantage and almost pick up the victory in this matchup on multiple occasions. The kid's got heart, the kid's got fire in his blood, and I loved this match. I really did. I thought it was great. And for the RKO to still end up coming out of nowhere, as Randy Orton would take Mustafa Ali by his leg, throw him from the top rope somehow. I don't even know how he did it, but catch him in the RKO on the way down in a very surprising and hard-fought victory, if you ask Randy Orton. But that would not be the end of this thing, as Samoa Joe would come out and attack Randy Orton. He would lock on the coquina clutch. He choked him out. He would then go on to attack Mustafa Ali as well. And as Samoa Joe was leaving, we got the arrival of the WWE Champion, Daniel Bryan, and he seemed to trigger something in Samoa Joe just by being out there. Samoa Joe has yet to get his hands on the champion since they started building towards the Elimination Chamber, which did actually begin last week. So kudos to SmackDown Live on that as well. And it looked like Joe was going to make a move on the champ until big old Rowan came out. Recycle Rowan came out to save Daniel Bryan, and Joe seemed to back off and go about his business and let Daniel Bryan come out to give another one of these priceless Daniel Bryan, I'm Captain Planet and I'm going to save the world promos. But this one took on a little bit of a different life of its own, because they were in Washington, D.C. Not Washington, D.C., but Washington, Daniel Bryan's hometown. And he was getting genuine babyface reactions to real heat lines. And his hometown people were on his side. Never once did Daniel Bryan insult them or try to get them to boo him. He just embraced what was happening and he used it to his advantage, saying the people of Washington are probably among some of the smarter people in all of the world. And he went on to continue to push his message, a message that was being chanted yes to by the entirety of the Washington crowd, but Daniel Bryan would not shit on this town. And I thought that was refreshing because more often than not, a heel will just go to the insult the crowd thing to try to get the cheap boos. We see Elias do it everywhere he goes. It's been a staple of pro wrestling for many heels all over the world. I equate it to coming out in whatever sports team that is in the city you are in. You come out in the rivals, you come out in their rivals jersey, or you coming out in their rivals baseball suit. That's going to get you cheap heat. Everybody's going to boo you just because of what you're wearing. They're not going to give a shit who you are. And I equate it to things like that. But in Daniel Bryan's case, this guy, everything he's doing right now is just golden. It's just absolutely great. Rowan by his side. He was boring as shit to listen to, talk to, and I think by being with Daniel Bryan, it might bring something out in him. I just hope that they have more plans involved and maybe extend this thing and have some more members come out of it. It's got my interest. I am loving the new Daniel Bryan. The new championship looks like, it looks like fire, bro. I want to have that championship and hang it on my wall behind me. That wood plate. That wood plate is just so beautiful, and then you have all the little turquoise accents and everything. I don't even give a shit about the burlap sack style, material that the plates are on. It's a beautiful belt. So much better than the Universal Championship, if you ask me. I think I might have said that one before, but it needs to bear repeating because it's beautiful, man. It's absolutely beautiful. I love it. And I love everything Daniel Bryan is doing right now. Fucking great. We go to the back where Kayla Braxton was interviewing Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy says he was disgusted that Daniel Bryan threw away the championship last week on SmackDown Live, as was most of us. As much as I enjoy the new championship, that was a hard moment to watch. Not just because it was evoking memories of watching Medusa do it on WCW Nitro almost maybe 25 years at this point, or 24 years ago, but because that's the WWE Championship, man. I didn't mind that belt when they debuted that belt. I thought it was nice. I always wished the plate was more snazzy and they didn't just rely so much on the black background, but it's a WWE Championship, man. You don't throw that shit in the trash. But it's for storyline's sake. As always, I'm not an idiot. I enjoy it for what it is. But in my heart of hearts, it just kind of stung me just a little bit. So I understand where Jeff Hardy is coming from. And he said, but this week, instead of debating with Daniel Bryan, he's going to deal with Daniel Bryan in the ring. And unexpectedly, AJ Styles shows up out of nowhere. And AJ Styles approaches Jeff Hardy and says that he does not think Jeff Hardy might not be the right person to represent the WWE's legacy. I don't know why he just would randomly target Jeff Hardy out of nowhere like this. But whatever, it was a way to get AJ on TV. I didn't know if we were going to see him again towards the end of the night, which in fact we did, and we will get to that in just a minute. But I thought it was a little bit useless. But again, they're building towards the Elimination Chamber. Both of these guys are going to be in that matchup, so I don't shit on it, and I don't hate it too much. Not as much as I'm going to shit on the finish of this triple threat tag team matchup for the women's. You had Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville going up against the Iconics and Naomi and Carmella. And instead of giving the win to Naomi and Carmella to solidify the fact that they're a formidable duo like we touched upon earlier, they gave this win to Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville to push the Mandy versus Naomi singles storyline. Does that make sense to do in a tag team matchup? You let me know if I'm just being crazy or if I got a point. Because I think I got a point. Not just on the top of my head. After this matchup, we go to the back for another backstage promo. Zelina Vega and Andrade Cien Almas discuss Rey Mysterio. This was a great promo by Zelina Vega saying that Rey Mysterio is a... How did she put it? She said he is like a figment, not of your imagination, but he's like a tale of folklore. He's a legend. He's a story. He's a myth. And Andrade Cien Almas is going to extinguish that myth. Not because he wants to, but because he has to. And then she would go on to say that the legend of Andrade begins with the end of Rey Mysterio. Great promo. And Andrade Cien Almas was doing his best Rusev impression while he was sitting there just smiling away. The guy looked like a thinner version of Rusev. It's just kind of weird to see, and I had to point that out to you guys, as I like to do. Then, in the main event of the evening, Jeff Hardy would go on to defeat the WWE Champion Daniel Bryan in this non-title matchup, but he would do so by disqualification thanks to the involvement of Eric Rowan, as at one point in the matchup, Jeff Hardy seemed to have everything well in hand, executing a twist of fate and then ascending to the top rope to deliver that Swanton Bomb, which he did and connected successfully with, and went for the cover. Seemingly looked like he was going to win this non-title matchup when Rowan would stick his gigantic beard and balded head into where it does not belong, pulling the challenger out of the ring, beating down Jeff Hardy, throwing him into the steel steps, and stopping this matchup. But it would not stop from there, as out of nowhere, once again, Samoa Joe would come from ringside. I don't know how the hell he got there, but the guy was moving as quick as a cat. Took out Eric Rowan with some quickness and ferocity, and then would jump into the ring to get his hands on Daniel Bryan. Next thing you know, everybody's coming out. Randy Orton comes out. He's trying to get some vengeance on Samoa Joe for the attack earlier in this evening. Mustafa Ali's coming out, and then AJ Styles' music hits. AJ Styles hits the ring. Everybody's going crazy. He hit the phenomenal forearm square in the face of Jeff Hardy. While this is all happening, Daniel Bryan makes his escape on his way up to the ramp and watches over everything happening in the ring at the top of the ramp with Recycle Rowan, as SmackDown Live was about to go off the air. Bryan and Rowan would continue to the backstage area where he would be confronted by Kayla Braxton, Daniel Bryan, and then Daniel would go off completely, stating that everything that happened was just unfair. Everybody was interfering in his matchup. He did not need Eric Rowan to help him, as Kayla Braxton kind of alluded to in her questioning. Daniel Bryan just blew a gasket and went into a whole nother dimension with his reply. I think the girl was legitimately scared for her life, and then he would walk off away from her after addressing her question the way he did. We went back to the ring to see AJ Styles celebrating next to the WrestleMania sign as they promoted next week, and Shane McMahon and The Miz as they co-host McMiz TV, brought to you by the McRib Sandwich, with special guests, the Usos. And that, my friends, was your SmackDown Live for February the 5th on this Tuesday in 2019. Like I said, not the worst show in the world. It's better than Raw. Being better than Raw is the least we could ask for, but if they could get a little bit even more better than what they're doing right now, it would be much appreciated. At least we didn't have any friggin' legends coming out singing irrelevant songs from 20 years ago. We didn't have a Hall of Famer in the main event of tonight's show with an irrelevant superstar of the modern era like Constable Corbin Dickhead, as they bring down Drew McIntyre and insert Braun Strowman just to what? To give him something to do? We didn't get any of that. And we could be grateful for that. And we got two great matches. One from Randy Orton and Mustafa Ali. The other, Daniel Bryan and Jeff Hardy's matchup, all in all, was a very, very good matchup. Something I would like to see more of. And luckily for us, we will see more of it at the Elimination Chamber. If not, next week on SmackDown Live. Thank you guys so much for being here once again. We are well over 1,200 subscribers. We are pushing towards that 1,500, that 2,000 mark, the 3, 4, 5, 6, 20,000, 500 billion subscribers mark. We want to get as high as we can go, and it's going to start with a super awesome, knowledgeable, and respectful wrestling fan just like yourself. If you made it to this point in the video and you enjoyed anything we had to say tonight, hit that subscribe button right now, and then make sure you ring that notification bell so that you don't miss a single thing that goes up on this channel, because we put up awesome content following every major WWE event. Mondays, Tuesdays, Sundays, Saturdays, whatever days they want to throw shit at us, we are here to give you guys our opinions and bring the hammer down on everything that they do wrong. And I want to thank everybody that has come aboard this week. A nice big influx of subscribers, as has become the normal here at Sledgehammer TV, and I have each and every one of you to thank. You guys make my day. Every time that number goes up, I get more and more psyched, and I look forward to bringing you guys more quality content on the newest, fastest rising podcast in all of YouTube, baby! And that is the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. I haven't done that one in a while, huh, guys? Some of my longtime fans know that was the usual intro and sometimes outro of the show. I haven't pulled that one out of the back pocket in some time, but it's a special moment. Every time we get together, it's a special moment, especially when I get together with you. Make sure you light up that comment section. I want to know what everybody thought about tonight's SmackDown Live, and what you thought about this review, and what you thought about everything that I thought. If you agree, disagree, feel free to do so. Just do so in a respectful manner and use your brains, as you guys always do, so that we can continue to be the best wrestling community in the entirety of the internet. And I aim to keep it that way. Make sure you bash that like button if you enjoyed anything that we did here today, and share this video with each and every one of your wrestling buddies all over the wrestling world, especially if they had a pretty good time watching SmackDown Live and are getting pretty hyped for what is shaping up to be a very, very good Elimination Chamber matchup. If you missed anything from Royal Rumble week, or if you missed last night's hammering of Monday Night Raw, it is all live on the channel right now. Many things will be linked in the annotations up above, so if you feel like watching something else, feel free to click away and do so. You got the Raw review from last night. We got the Royal Rumble review, NXT TakeOver review. We got 5 ways to fix the Riot Squad on our debut edition of Bringing the Hammer Down, our newest show. And the next one is in production, you guys, anybody that's wondering. And it will be coming to you guys very, very soon. I hope to get it done quicker than it's looking like it's being done. But as soon as it's up there, make sure you're notified and you will know when it is. Finally, as always, this show is brought to you guys by Audible. Audible has over 180,000 titles for you to choose from for your listening pleasure. Download it on all major mobile devices. You can get a free trial on us and a free audiobook as a reward for doing so. All you got to do is go to audibletrial.com/sledgehammertv right now. Sign up for 30 days. Pick a free book just for being a fan of this show. Cancel if you would like and you don't want to continue the service. And guess what, you guys? You get to keep that book and listen to it over and over and over again to your heart's content. And it's not going to cost you anything at all. If you've already taken advantage of this great Audible trial via somebody else, feel free to take this link and give it to your friends and family and anybody else who has yet to experience the greatness of Audible. Feel free to give them a free book and trial on us. So take this link with you everywhere you go. audibletrial.com/sledgehammertv today. It's a great way to support the show, and I thank you guys for doing so. My name, as you already know, is Nick Nightmare. This is my team, Thor the Sledgehammer, the official Sledgehammer of the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show, and the Wrestling God of Thunder, and his tag team partner, the World Heavyweight Champion of all the microphones in all the world, in his now seemingly offensive championship belt glory, Mr. Blue, the Snowball microphone, and the most important member, as always, is you. Thank you once again for being here, and we will see you all week long for the best coverage all over the world, in the world of professional wrestling. That is going to do it, and we are out of here. And we'll see you next time right here on your new favorite wrestling show, the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show, only on Sledgehammer TV, right here on YouTube.com. Boom.